Seahawks fans, I need your help. I need you to follow me on IG at Tyler Jones Live for more Seahawks content beyond what you see each and every day here on the channel. And I'll give you a little incentive, folks, for you to follow me on IG. My last photo, you can see, was this weekend. I was in Norman, Oklahoma to watch the Oklahoma Sooners lose to Tennessee, unfortunately, but still had a great time. SEC opener, SEC just means more, right? For everybody that follows me and likes this photo, I will follow you back. So, simple as that. Give me a follow, go like the photo, and I'll follow you back. Do me a favor, I'll help you out. Let's grow this thing together, and we'll get started with today's show. It is Overreaction Monday here on Seattle Seahawks Today. Powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. What a win for the Seattle Seahawks as they begin the 2024 campaign with a 3-0 record. And we'll go over the top overreactions as we scour the internet here on today's show from yesterday's performance. Let's start with overreaction number one. Too many injuries for this Seattle Seahawks team right now. They are piling up. They're stacking up. This one, folks, actually not an overreaction. It is starting to get out of control when you look at the injury report for this Seahawks team of what they already dealt with before yesterday's game. And then the injuries that added up to add to that as well. They include the following. You got George Fant, the backup offensive tackle, on injured reserve with a knee injury right now. Well, the starter, Abraham Lucas, is on the PUP list with a knee injury, and there's no sign that Abraham Lucas is coming back anytime soon. So you are down to your third string at your starting right tackle position, and it ain't looking good there. You have the oblique injury to Kenneth Walker III, although you had a good performance from Zach Charobnnet yesterday. More on him coming up later. But then you also have the MCL injury to Uchenna and Nwosu. Hopefully he comes back soon. And on top of that, Leonard Williams with the ribs injury that he suffered in yesterday's game. And then Byron Murphy with the hamstring injury that he suffered as well. That's two defensive linemen that go down to the same game that hurt a lot of depth at that position. So you're looking at 6 impact players all of a sudden not available. We'll continue to let you know when we get updates on these guys. But that's a lot of production that's out the window right now that's not available for this Seahawks team. That's a problem, folks. If you enjoyed that win over the Dolphins, here's what I need you to do. Spam W in the comments section. I want to see no less than 300 W's in those comments to celebrate that win. Big-time victory demands big-time comments from the 12s. Spam W if you enjoyed that win yesterday. Number two, although the Seahawks have a 3-0 record, they have greatly benefited from a DEI schedule. That is not an overreaction. Look, we could sit here and be happy all we want about this Seahawks team being 3-0, and you'll take what you can get in the National Football League. We've told you this before, that if you do the math on the Seahawks situation, where you have that 3-0 start, the goal should be to get to 10 wins. If you get to 10, then you are comfortably in the playoffs, right, at 10-7. You just have to go 500 the rest of the way. You have benefited from this schedule of facing some bad quarterbacks, but you'll take what you can get. You look at what the Seahawks have done at this point. You beat Bo Nix week 1, who was just awful, has not looked good to start the season. You beat Jacoby Brissett on the road, who is not a good quarterback. And then you beat Skylar Thompson and Tim Boyle, that just disgusting combination, who only put up 3 points. You have benefited from playing some not so good football teams to begin the year. But, hey, you play the schedule that's in front of you. You'll take the 3-0 record. If Pete Carroll was still the coach of this team, there's no way the Seahawks would be 3-0 right now. But the DEI schedule's about to end. It's going to get tougher. You play the Detroit Lions, who were in the NFC Championship game a season ago, although The Seahawks have had their way with Detroit, winning their last two matchups in Detroit the last two seasons. Then you play the New York Giants. I don't think the Giants are that great, but they did just beat Cleveland yesterday. And then you turn around on Thursday Night Football and you play the San Francisco 49ers. So you got to face Jared Goff and Brock Purdy within a 3-week stretch, two top 15 quarterbacks. Then you turn around and travel to Atlanta to face Cousins and the Falcons, who suffered a close loss to the Kansas City Chiefs last night, had a chance to win that game, did beat Philadelphia on the road the week prior to that. Then Josh Allen comes to town, one of the best quarterbacks in football, and the Bills have looked pretty decent to begin of the year. And then you face the LA Rams. And the Rams are pretty banged up right now, but even with that said, they still beat San Francisco yesterday. So you're in first place. You're 3-0. The Niners are 1-2. The vibes are good. Things are great. But we can still sit here and acknowledge that you've benefited from playing an easy schedule to this point. But it's about to get harder. Let's see how the Hawks respond from here. Now, to celebrate that Seahawks win, I need you guys to sub for Dubs. Best way to celebrate a victory. If you're excited about next week's game against the Lions and already want to get momentum our direction, sub to the channel as we bring you daily Seattle Seahawks news and rumors, live shows every Wednesday, watch parties every game day, breaking news and more. It's all in one place right here on Seattle Seahawks Today. Subscribe now for free, youtube.com/Seahawks TV. Number 3 on Overreaction Monday. The run game is fixed. Everything is rainbows and butterflies now for the run game. That's an overreaction. Although the run game was much improved, that was just one step in the right direction. Because here's the truth of the matter, folks. The offensive line is still a mess. It is still atrocious. And until the offensive line can figure things out, then we really just don't know with the running game of where this is going to go from here. What we can say, though, is it was a turning point for Zach Charobnnet. Charbonnet had an awful start to this season, and I told you previously it all wasn't his fault, that the offensive line wasn't doing him any favors, but then has that breakthrough game yesterday, close to 100 yards rushing, over 100 all-purpose yards when you factor in what he did in the receiving game. And now you look at the statistics of what he's done so far this year. The yards per rush is up. It's now to 3.5. It was in the 2s before yesterday. He's got 3 rushing touchdowns as well. I like what I'm seeing from Zach Charobnnet. There's no need to rush Kenneth Walker back until he's 100%, till he's ready. Zach Charobnnet is good enough to get the job done. He's just going to need some help from this offensive line. Do you believe in Zach Charobnnet? If you do, type B for believe. If not, type D for don't. Weigh in the comment section. Let us know what you think. Today's show is sponsored by our friends at Z-Biotics. See this thing? I'm going to tell you more about this thing. You may be wondering, what is this? That's where we come in. Let's face it, after a night with drinks, I don't bounce back the next day like I used to. I'm 28 years old now, folks. I have to make a choice. I can either have a great night or a great next day. That is until I found Z-Biotics Pre-Alcohol. Pre-Alcohol is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next morning. Pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. Just remember to drink this probiotic before drinking alcohol. Drink responsibly and get a good night's sleep to feel your best tomorrow. The first time I tried Z-Biotics was at my 25th birthday. As instructed, I drank a bottle of pre-alcohol before any alcohol. I was amazed at how good I felt the next day. Remember to head to zbiotics.com/chatsports and use code chatsports at checkout for 15% off. Thank you, Z-Biotics, for sponsoring this episode and for our good times. Number 4 on Overreaction Monday. Derick Hall will lead the Seattle Seahawks in sacks this season. Folks, I do not think that's an overreaction. Derick Hall has looked like the perfect complement to his teammate Boye Mafe. They got a Batman and Robin thing going on between these two, and he was spectacular. It was his breakout performance, the best game of his career yesterday. You look at his statistics now, 9 tackles, 3 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 1 tackle for loss. He's been very, very good. And you look at the sack leaders of how he stacks up amongst the rest of this team here. He's tied with Boyer for the team lead in sacks with 3. Leonard Williams has got 1.5. Dodson, Reed, and Jones each with 1 as well. I like what I've seen from this pass rush. They've taken some huge steps the right direction, and Derick Hall is a big reason why. Last on our list of overreactions for Overreaction Monday, Legion of Boom vibes. We told you last week here on the channel about how the first 2 weeks, statistically speaking, were very similar to the 2013 Seahawks Legion of Boom team when you compared how the Seahawks started the season. But it did come with some caveats. We mentioned that the Legion of Boom team in 2013, those first 2 weeks, had faced prime Cam Newton and prime Colin Kaepernick, so a little bit different than what this Seahawks team had faced. But nonetheless, the Seahawks defense has looked fantastic. Still a long ways to go, but this team is winning through their elite defense. And the statistics that we're going to show you here is fantastic, to say the least. We'll get to that here in just a moment. Let's start with this from Brock Huard. Brock Huard of Seattle Sports, former Seahawks and Huskies quarterback, does a great job covering college football for Fox Sports. He had this to say: 3-0 is 3-0. Bank every win you can in the NFL. Where'd you hear that before? Some good, some bad, some ugly from the Seahawks, but there's no denying how violently they are playing defensively, and I am here for all of it. Legion of Boom vibes. Now, before I show you these statistics here, folks, remember last season, the statistics for this Seahawks defense, in almost every major category, they were in the bottom half of the league, or they were at the very bottom. They're in the 30s, the 31s, and the 32s. What I am about to show you right here and right now, folks, is going to give you a sports boner. Look at this. The Seahawks defensive rankings. Opponents' points per game, 14.3. That's 4th best in the league. Opponents' yards per game, 248.7. That's 2nd best in the league. Opponents' points per play, 0.225. 4th best in the league. Now, get ready for this one, folks. Dun, 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 dun. Opponents' yards per play, 3.9. 1st in the NFL. Oh, it's beautiful. I can't remember the last time I saw a Seahawks defensive ranking with the number 1 next to it. Oh, man, that feels good. And then opponents' 3rd down conversion percentage. This one greatly improved from last week. Seahawks have jumped up to 4th at 26.09%. It's still early. You face some bad teams, some bad quarterbacks, but the Seahawks defense has been very impressive to this point. So with that said, 3 weeks in, 3-0 record. What is your confidence level in these Seahawks after week number 3? Scale it for me in the comment section, 1 through 10. I'm feeling pretty good, but I want to see how this team does against a very good team like the Detroit Lions next week. So for now, I'll go 7.5, but that number can go higher. Let's see what they do this week. Follow me on IG at Tyler Jones Live. Go like that photo. I am following everybody back that likes that photo and follows me. I certainly would appreciate it. I'm Tyler Jones. Have a great day. Enjoy your victory Monday, and we'll see you next time here on Seahawks Today.